Now we're moving on to our next Strategic Research Fund project, which is also in the area of resilience, this time looking at organisations. And the title of the presentation is Strengthening Organisational Resilience Through New Business Models. And I was going to introduce Associate Professor Retha Wiesner, but she couldn't make it because she's now Professor Retha Wiesner, who is here. So I'd like you to give her an extra special round of applause.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Peter. Our research program, it's all about organisational resilience, but it's very much within regional resilience. Our program feed into the Institute for Resilience Regions, led by Professor John Cole, but we also link very strongly, and we sit within the Australian Centre for Sustainable Business and Development. And our research is really all about how do you go about improving individual, improving team, improving organisational performance to the next level. So we work across different domains. We work within early entrepreneurial firms. We work within small and medium-sized enterprises. A lot of our work fits within those domains. But we've also conducted work within large blue-chip companies. And every time the theme is very much about how does a business leader go about, or how does a business go about actually taking that next step to improve performance. So that's just a little bit of background to our particular program. Probably more recently, a lot of our work has started focusing on regional entrepreneurial leadership. And the focus on regional entrepreneurial leadership is quite specific we made a conscious choice about that. Because what we want to do is really identify how could organisations go about identifying opportunities and exploiting those opportunities and actually taking that opportunities to the next level. How could they add value to their own organisations, but also how could they add value to the regions as well as the communities within our regions. Our research team we're quite a large team. We probably 21 people in our team at the moment, members in our team, and we were very focused on getting top level researchers within our team, mid-career researchers within our team, as well as early career researchers in our team, and there's quite a good balance across those levels of researchers within our team. We also have about 16 high degree research students currently linked to our program. And they fit into a whole range of projects, which I'll quickly talk about now. Probably before I talk about the projects, I'm co-leading our program with Professor Tony Machant, and his focus is very much on the organisational psychology side of things, where a lot of my research and the focus that I have is very much on organisational behaviour, on entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial leadership, and so forth. The kind of projects that we currently have in our program, and I'll just talk about a few of those, and there's probably a much longer list than I'm going to talk about today, but I'll just talk about a few of our main programs under development, and also that's been really going from strength to strength since we started this program. One of the flagship programs in our or I call it a program because it's quite a large program, and it's on fostering business sustainability within small and medium-sized enterprises in Queensland. And it's called the Ecoboost Program. Professor John Cole, it was his, I guess, brainchild a number of years ago when he was still leading the government organisation responsible for environmental issues a number of years ago. So we partnered with the Queensland government on a $3 million project. Plus, we're partnering with the CCIQ, the Queensland Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as Australian Training Business Solutions. So we really a conglomerate almost that's executing this program throughout Queensland. All the projects that we run has got a capacity building component to it, and I think what we're finding in business research is that the capacity building aspect of it is very attractive to funders, because there's something in it for them. When we do something, it's not just research that we're adding, but we're also actually building capacity for organisations as well as for entities that may want to come on board as funders. And I'll just quickly give you a brief overview of the Ecoboost program. It's a capacity building program around eco-efficiency specifically, but also how do they take that eco-efficiency initiatives to better strengthen their own organisations. And the kind of outcomes we had so far, we had over 63,000 web views, 2,200 registrants within Queensland in our program. We've run 509. We had 509 workshop attendees. We've conducted 21 case studies. We have a leaders forum that we developed, and that's really around the champions around Queensland, who's doing wonderful things around a reduction of energy, water, waste, etc. And we've conducted about 407 coaching sessions in SMEs throughout Queensland. And then we have a whole range of website resources, materials and so forth that my team develops consistently throughout the program. Currently I have 7 staff members working on the program, and we're feeding into CCIQ. They have the reach within Queensland SMEs, and they communicate all of the work that we do in terms of this particular program. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of some of the outcomes of this program, and we've only been doing this program for about 2 years. We're into our 3rd year of this program, and so far, on the average, we had about 8 participants, SMEs of this program. In this program, 19% reduction in energy, about 30% reduction in water, and about 40% reduction in waste. So it's quite significant, just some of the outcomes that we already see just kind of halfway through the program. We're into the evaluation stage now to really see how can a program like this make a difference to a much larger audience in Queensland in small and medium-sized enterprises. And there's a whole range of research that we've built around this program because it simply hasn't been done in this particular area. We've just been nominated for the Australian Financial Review Awards, Higher Education Awards, and we heard last week that we're one of the 4 finalists in this award, so hopefully we can make it through, but even if we don't, we feel very, proud of what we have achieved in this way so far. Just to give you a brief overview of some of our other projects. We're currently conducting a program on rural women entrepreneurs, and we're doing this in association with the Queensland Rural, Remote and Regional Women's Network. Really looking at what are the needs and what are the entrepreneurial intentions and what is it that rural women want in terms of if they have a really good idea, how can they take that idea one step further? Or if they've already started a business, how can they actually enhance or grow their business a little bit further? Or if they already have been in business for a few years down the track, how do they go about actually taking that business international and moving into the export market? So we're currently in the data collection phase very much, and also doing a whole range of interviews and case studies around some of the champions of rural women entrepreneurs, and we're doing a large-scale survey, but it all kind of feeds back into a capacity building program which we're designing around a digital hub, but also face-to-face component to actually accelerate rural and regional women entrepreneurs. Another project that kind of quite closely aligned with the entrepreneurship theme is it's also on women, but it's on women agribusiness leaders, entrepreneurial leaders within Australia. And we're currently working with some of the top agribusiness women leaders within the country to look at what were some of the challenges that they experienced and what's happening in their current careers and how do they see their careers going forward? How can we recruit many more agribusiness young leaders into the space to make it very much a viable but also much more gender balanced within the agribusiness sphere? So that's another specific program we have in the entrepreneurial space that we're currently developing. We've had a lot of success in the international space. We've secured probably almost $1 million from AusAid, previous AusAid, now Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, where we work with international countries. Currently, we have a program running in November of a group of entrepreneurial leaders coming here from Nepal and Bangladesh. Those leaders are in positions where they can have an impact on policy within their countries, and they really, after examining what kind of strategies do we use in Australia to accelerate entrepreneurs within our own domains. So they're coming here in November, and we're taking them throughout the entire country almost, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Toowoomba, where we have top women entrepreneurs feeding into the program, but we also go for a whole range of site visits to top women entrepreneurs, but also incubators and accelerators in the country so that they can learn from best practice. We have a whole research program built around that, not only around our Australian top women entrepreneurs feeding into the program with mentorship, capacity building, skill building, but also, of course, we have a research component feeding into these international women leaders and how can they develop strategies that they can take back to their countries and implement. This is the third time that we've been successful with this particular project, which is called Empowering Women Through Entrepreneurship, Creativity and Business Sustainability and Innovation. So a lot of our time and actually work's going into this whole space of trying to accelerate individuals, teams, as well as organisations to the next level of performance. Our team, very, very multidisciplinary. We have business researchers, we have organisational psychologists, we have a person from law, we have a few people in the business sustainability space, entrepreneurship space, etc. And I guess if there's one lesson that I've learned from this particular program that we quite successfully running at the moment is the importance and the value of multidisciplinary research. Because, you know, I look at a particular problem and then there's somebody else looking through a different lens, and all of a sudden it becomes something quite magical because these opportunities and these things that I haven't even thought about that other researchers look at from a total different lens when they analyse these issues. In terms of where we're going, you know, the normal KPIs associated with programs like this, journal publications in high-impact journals, but we're also very much around developing team capacity, and also other researchers that actually would like to link to our program. Come and have a chat to us and see how you can get involved with this research and how you can also become part of this capacity building program. Ultimately, our research is really about making a difference. It's very much around having impact, especially within regional areas. And I guess that's our vision for the future as we go after the end of next year. We will start a 3-year program, and hopefully we're planning much further ahead in the program. But it is around that having impact and making a difference in the regional space. Is there any questions?
Well, Rita, thank you so much for that. I think there's no questions because you were so clear and articulate, and you've explained it so well. But one thing I'd like everybody to take note of is the point that Rita made about the benefits of multidisciplinary teams. And research is too difficult to do on your own, especially if you're ambitious and you have large-scale projects in mind. It is about bringing people together with varying expertise so that the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And I think it's a shining example of what's possible when you have someone with Rita's passion for what she does and organisational skills. So could we just give her a warm round of applause?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Peter.